Down here is going to be your navigation for the different areas of the app that you can go to. They have this news, which is all like real estate news related, especially technology focused. That's fine if you're into it, not necessarily necessary to focus on that. Messages is where you can message other agents or your clients, or they can message you. So if you sign in here and you've got like a little notification thing, then that means there's messages waiting for you. Homes, that's where we're going to spend most of our time, and that's the searching. Krill agents is, I believe, all. So this is recently viewed agents, or you can look up agents in here. And then me, and that's where you can go in and make some edits to your own profile. I found it much more user-friendly on the desktop, but you could totally do it in the app. Let's go over to the search features. So one of the things that I find most handy, so you can go up to the top and search. One of the things that's really handy is if a client tells you like, oh, I saw a place on Canyon I really like. And you're like, oh great, what address? And they're like, I don't know, it's like a Canyon and I don't know, and then you could just actually just put in Canyon and then Canyon in Boulder and then just kind of navigate around and see things pop up, and then you can find the listings that way. Another thing that's really handy is that they have these different layers. I think it defaults to just the map.
Yes.
But I have found, see,
This is schools.
yep, you can go by schools. You can go by, if you hit the lots button, that's going to show you the parcels.
Where do you get those buttons?
Are you
Down
down
the
in this?
slide.
Yes.
So can we
It's on
clear it
the
out,
right-hand
like I was asking, so we can see these buttons? Like I can't get anything, because I've got the sphere in top there, and I can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Try running a search.
Oh, yeah.
Just put in like Boulder, or hit the button. Correct. Let's go back to the
It
search.
looks like a,
So where are we?
I can pull up Boulder, I just cannot do zero, like nothing in there. Like sometimes I just want to know what's around me, and I can't get to it.
When these buttons don't show up typically, you'll still have this button. Does anybody see this? Who doesn't see the button?
Just that.
Click on that. That's going to take you to where you are.
Yeah.
I got it.
Where I am right now.
Correct. And then use your fingers to zoom out a little bit further, so there's actually properties showing up. And once those properties show up, you should be able to see these different tools that you can utilize. Is that everybody with me?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So yeah, you can draw boundaries.
If you're doing a search, how can you get rid of them?
Yeah, I just.
You can go up and click in that box at the top, and you can clear it out, or you can put it in a new address.
Figured it out.
Another thing you can do is go up to filters and hit
You
cancel.
can clear it, that's right.
So filter was right up here, and when you go here, this is where you can put for sale, for rent. From what I can tell, the rentals are only the ones that come from the MLS, so they're very few and far between. So there's not a lot of value with that one, but you do for sale, and then in status you can do for sale, pending, sold, coming soon. I think that's it. Yeah, and then you can go ahead and put these filters on. Again, what I find is most helpful for me is not to have any filters on there, because then I can look up any property wherever I am.
And you just push reset and it
And
clears
exactly.
everything.
Yep. So if you, for whatever reason, happen to have been in there, sometimes I might go in and search for sold properties around me or something. The next time I open the app, if I go up to filter and reset, just clears out all the fields and pulls up all of the inventory.
You have to apply that after you get reset.
Yeah. So reset. Oh yeah. And then when you hit apply, it actually does this. And you can go to different areas. So the different layers are pretty handy. You can search, basically you'll see the boundaries for the different school districts. You can see the lot boundaries, and if you go to satellite, then you can get the satellite view as well. Different ways that I've used this in the past is if I'm in a neighborhood that I'm not super familiar with, and they're like, well, is there a park nearby or something like that, I can just pull this out and look on the satellite view and see. Another thing is, especially with the boundaries, if you're unsure where the boundaries are, you can at least get a point of reference to work with, and then obviously go back and do your due diligence later on. And then the commute part is helpful as well. if you put in, you know, where they work or where they go to school or whatever it is, then every property that you look at on there will always reference, you know, it's a 7-minute drive to this school or this work or whatever it is. So I find that that's actually really handy. And then the other thing you can do is the list view as well. So you can look at things on a map, but if you're, let's say you're down in central Boulder and there's 16 properties right here or something, you can just go to list view and start working your way through.
You're right, just
Rachel needs your listing.
Rachel needs.
Oh.
These are the questions.
Yeah,
You never know.
Did someone get on that plane?
Where do you find the list view that you were talking about?
It's let's go back to the search. I've got the list view on right now. Okay, so
Oh, got it.
here's my search, and here are all the different properties. The list button's right down here.
Got it.
What is
Thank
this,
you.
what is it doing?
The list view pulls, instead of seeing them like clustered on the map like this, you'll see boxes for each one. So you can kind of like peruse through them and look at the, it has the basic
That's
stats.
that lowest button.
Oh, we got
Oh, you already are.
Cool. I also think that the interface that they have for looking at the properties is pretty slick. Yeah.
How'd you get back off of those?
How did it?
Yeah.
Yep, so go back and we click somewhere on the map. So let's go back to list view. And if you just kind of click away somewhere, then this will go down and you'll get back to the map view.
Yeah, that little camera up there, is that what you use to take a photo?
The camera is for that original feature that they had where you go to this, you point it at a house that's for sale, and it'll pop up with an icon and tell you what the price is, and then you can click on it and get more information.
And then you hit lists.
Not super.
There's a nice selfie feature
There you go, totally.
Is that under
That's under Homes.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, primarily
It's a thing.
for those of you, there's a lot of features in here. If you're gonna remember one thing, just go and fill out your profile, number one. And number two, go to the Homes part and just play around with it. You know, I suggest you just kind of fool around with it sometime when you don't have clients with you, obviously, and you'll just be able to navigate your way around pretty well and pick it up. Yeah.
Is what we see pretty much the same as what users see our clients, just the interface is just exactly the same?
The interface is exactly the same. Only difference is that we have more fields of information. So like let's go to this thing. These are all for rent. Let me get out of it for real quick. Okay. So click on this property here for more information. This is in here twice because it's in both MLSs. Sometimes it filters them out, but it's not uncommon. And then once you're in here, you can scroll down, and anything with the Pro is so like you get the, and this does sync with Showing Time. So if you guys have signed into the Showing Time app on your phones, and you click on this, it's going to go right into where you request a showing.
Do that again.
Wait.
Whoa.
That just woke everybody up.
Yeah. How do we know if we're in trouble?
Everybody's awake.
All right.
You didn't need to be a pro.
So
I just did it without pro.
let's go over the steps again. So you run a search,
Right.
probably around you, but you can run it anywhere, right?
That's awesome.
Go ahead and click on, you can see the purple are the ones that are pending.
Click on it.
Click on any listing.
Okay.
You get into here. There happens to be two in this case because it's in both MLS. Just click on either one. Now this is where you have the information. And so you can click on the photos, work your way through the photos. You can scroll down a little bit, and this is where anything with the Pro, what I was saying. Send a rapid CMA, schedule a showing time. It will open you, take you right into the Showing Time app.
If you click on it, it doesn't come up, then what's the problem?
If you click on that and it doesn't open the Showing Time app, that's because you don't have it downloaded or you're not signed into it on your phone.
Oh, right, no, that's the top. Oh my gosh, you have to have it on your phone.
Yeah.
Oh, I have.
Does this make sense to everybody?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's, I'm not in the pub thing, obviously, and you don't have to be.
Wait,
I don't
I have a
know.
question. Yes, sorry.
Okay, so
Like a
in the
picture house.
WKRE
I
app,
want
we
that.
had our clients, in the WKRE app, we had our clients go in and save us as their broker, and then they would drive by and go, oh, I like this, send it to me. So what happens here? That,
Good question. So they can, I'll get to that in 1 second.
okay, that's fine,
Cool.
I just wanna make sure
Um,
they find us.
But yes, they can absolutely find you, and you can send them a direct link. What I do is I go in and I invite people through the app or the desktop. It sends them a link to their phone, and when they click on it, I'm already their
Okay,
default
that would
agent.
be- okay,
Yeah,
that would
so that's
be-
what you're going to want to do.
Okay.
But just go quickly through the features here. So they do have this commute thing, which is pretty handy. They do have Street View. That's something to be mindful of as well, because especially certain areas of town, it's like somebody might send you a property and they're like, this is a screaming deal, it's only $1 million, when it should, everything else is $1.4 million, and then you go to Street View and you see like the electrical tower runs right above the house or something like that. And let's see here, commute, yep. And you go down here, property history, so this comes from the MLS and for public records. So it should have the sales history, going back, I don't know, 20 years, maybe more. Yeah. Oh, did you have a question?
No.
Okay. Notify me of price changes, and I do that through the MLS. But, if your client's really interested, it's a nice feature for them. They really like that. And then here's where you can go in. This is where you can message her directly through the app, or you can
That's not Main Street.
click on in and call or email right through the app.
That's great.
Then we have our normal listing information. All the public can see this, but then we get down to this pro stuff again.
And I like that you can see the property history, because everyone's just like, that's on and off and on and off. Not in this, this is really good. You can see everything.
Yeah, here's our co-op information. You're showing instructions. It's really handy. The rest of the details, if you hit the show more, are in there, and then we also have like the school ratings. You can click and get more information on the ratings straight through the app. Here's the commute time. If you've put in there wherever their work or their school is, it'll tell you what that is. Here's property lines, which I find is very handy.
I like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, and then you can zoom in. And then the other thing you can do that I found to be really handy as well is there's this button that says AR Walk. That's augmented reality. That's where I can't do it because there aren't any properties right around us right now, but
Cool.
if I was at a property, I could look through here and point it around and it would show me a line. Oh yeah, see there's kind of an example of it. It'll show you a line of where the boundaries are based on the information from the MLS.
That's really cool. So, silly, how do I get out of this?
Out of the
Yeah.
property view,
Uh-huh. Hit
so
reset or filter?
hit that and then there's a back button.
Hit the filter? She's on a different page. She's on
You're on the search page?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show you that in a moment.
Okay.
And then down here they have similar listings as well. It's just, candy handy in the recent sales. I love that this has sold information because oftentimes, you'll prepare something or you'll be out looking at a property and they'll be like, well, the neighbor's one sold for this or whatever. You can just pull it out and get, and you get property history too, right? So if it's out on the market for 6 months and had a bunch of price drops, you'll know right away. Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Oh,
I like it.
cool.
How do you get to that recent sales again? I'm sorry.
How do you get to receipt?
It's at the bottom. So if you go click on any property, let's just do, so here's a real example. I'm out and about with my clients. This is an old search I had when I was looking for somebody else, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit this near me button. I'm gonna get out of the north folder. I'm gonna zoom in my map.
Thanks.
It's not showing me anything, so I probably need to go in there and or I need to go into my filters and hit reset and clear everything out. Find a property, you click on it, This flashback thing, this is where they'll show you previous listing photos, but that's part of the paid thing right now, so probably not worth it. But yeah, you just scroll down, and then I can't remember if it's right here, but it's one of these yellow buttons. If you're near a property and you're an agent signed in, that has that distress thing. You can set up the safety. You click on it and say, "Give me 30 minutes. If I don't remember to turn it off, it's going to text me." Get property history, agent info, and then down below the listing summary is where all of our MLS stuff is. So really handy because I can go in, I can call the agent right from the app, I can go in and switch over to showing time, schedule my showing. Yeah, Matt.
So in terms of how this connects with our clients in regards to what they're seeing and what they're looking at and saved searches for them, where do we access, or, you know, like I was able to go in and create a highlighted area for a specific client and then do that multiple times with different clients. Is that just something that I'm seeing, or is that a search that I can connect with them almost like?
It's a great question.
Like a my site almost.
Great question. So if they set it up and you're their preferred agent, then it shares with you. And so you'll get that information. If you want to do it for them, I'm going to have to see how you share that with them. I'll have to look at it. I haven't done that. But I know that if they do it and you're their agent, then you get that information automatically.
And if you just tell them, hey, download this app as opposed to sending them a link which would make you their premier agent, what do you tell, I'm going to miss this, what do you tell them to do in order to make you the premier agent so you can see their service?
So where we have like a little me button, they have their own account information they can put in there, and that's where they can select. They can search for agents, and they can select you as well.
Just say, hey, go search for me through that.
Yes, but I don't leave it up to them. I send them the link, and you can do it from the desktop or from here. So that's one of the first things I do when I meet with buyers. Is I'm like, hey, I'm going to send you this app. Trust me, it's the most accurate app that's out there, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, if you go down to the me section down here, and there's an invite. You go in there and you can put in, I think it syncs with your contacts, so you can start putting in a number or a name and it'll pop
So
up.
I just invited myself just because I wanted to see what it looked like. And the message would be the message I want, because it was like if you want to see the neighborhood values, which, do you know if that's editable, the invite?
I don't believe it is, but let me see. Yeah, I don't believe it is.
Yeah, right, you know,
It just.
Not that I'm aware of.
Goes.
Matt, to your point though, outside of the sharing, if you save searches for certain clients, like, and you go and they'll have access to all of those in your app, I'll just have to see how you share that saved search with them.
But you can.
I believe you can, yeah. Yeah, it's just the opposite, I mean, it's really streamlined for them to set up their stuff and it's shared to you directly. Like, we just need to figure out what the step is where you set it up and send it. Yeah, well, and I mean, the way that I utilize this app the most is I just say this is like the best thing for when you're on mobile. And then outside of that, I mean, ideally I want people to search on our website, so I will send them there. But sometimes what you find is if they've already become accustomed to a different site, then they go on the one they're comfortable with, and then you screen and filter out all the stuff that's not accurate. And yeah, here you can set up your MLS identities as well.
So they're coming in from out of town, they're coming in 2 weeks, they're in a different state. Can I invite them and they can just still go to Chautauqua? And they can look
Totally.
wherever they are.
Yep, and they can search for over there currently too.
Right.
Because they have relationships with MLSs all across the country.
Okay.
So it's kind of nice because like our WK app was really slick, but it was only Colorado and Iris. This is everywhere. They can look
And
at.
while we're someplace else, we can go and filter search.
Yeah, absolutely. I still find that the MLSs are the best way to manage that information on the desktop, but this is extremely handy when you're out in the field, especially for property boundaries, commute times, information, real time, sold information, things like that.
I think it'd be great for open houses too.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally. And what a nice thing to talk to people about. Oh, let me send you this app. It's really cool.
And your customers love it. They absolutely love it.
Yeah,
I mean, I was working in Westminster, which I don't know a whole lot about Westminster, and she kept sending me ones of where I'd have it researched before I even got out. I mean, it kept me one step ahead of her, even though she was the one doing the work.
oh, that's great. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find that's really handy. And to be honest with you guys too, when they said they're going to purchase HomeSnap, I didn't think that was much of a good move, to be honest with you, with NAR and all of that. And once Amanda convinced me to go in and just really play with this, and it's
Yeah, I
super
think
good.
Amanda did me too. And
Yeah.
it's so user friendly on both sides.
That's my
I
experience
can
too.
do it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
So they're getting more of a
That's cool.
Mhm.
Us setting this up for them, the thing that I've noticed with my buyers, is they've bought, they've gotten like, oh wait, why don't we turn on that search for me? And so I've had to educate them and say, you need to just go in and delete the app if you don't want to get any of this, because it's gonna keep tracking what they've been searching for, and sending some stuff, unless they turn it on. So I have had one buyer over the summer that was like,
That's a
turn
good
it
point.
off, and I said, you have to turn it off.
Yeah, it's their account, exactly. You can't go in and do anything with their account. That's a really good point. And on the flip side of that, you sell it, you help somebody buy a house or whatever, and they're all signed up and they continue to use the app, and then all of a sudden one day you wake up and you're like, oh, they're switching your properties again, So it could be a good opportunity to reach out to anybody. Is there any features that I missed, or is there anybody use any of these features that they want to talk about?
Do you know if there's any like videos that you can share with clients?
Yes, excellent point. I wanted to show you guys before you leave. They have like this whole, I think they call it the university for HomeSnap, and it's really, so we go up here to, it's kind of hard to see, but I'm pretty sure it's right here with the agents. So there's a couple of different things you can do here. Advertise. This is another advertising opportunity. You can go in and do your profile, but what I'm really looking to invite clients to, HomeSnap Pro University. They have all kinds of really handy videos and handouts and stuff like that. And I found that they were really, these types of videos used to be really clunky or like low budget looking and things like that. I found that it was all very slick and helpful. So yeah, and I do like too the trending now, because that's, if they have a new feature or something like that, you're going to see it front and center. But like, yeah, here's a crash course on how to use the pro side, which is the agent side.
Do they have any printouts you can provide a client, like in their first aid folder on like how to use it or what capabilities it has or anything like that?
That's a good question.
That'd be helpful.
I'd have to look. Yeah, I didn't think about it on
Then you
that
could
side.
maybe sway them from stopping to use like all the other 5 apps to be able to just use one.
Yeah.
If they knew the capabilities of it, or we could like put together some sort of like, because what you had in here, like this is great, obviously not the pro stuff, but just for them to know what they are allowed to do with
I
it.
don't think so. Yeah, but yeah,
I feel like that's
I didn't try that. That's a good idea. The question for those of you who couldn't hear is there educational resources you can share with clients? So, agent quick guide. So this is where you can get the printouts. Which one of these is? I think our field guide came from this one. But here's like seamless client collaboration, advanced MLS search. Yeah. And also, just don't be shocked if you go in for the first time and set up your profile, and then all of a sudden you're getting a call from HomeSnap or Google or something like that.
Can you set parameters for when you do like the quick CMAs or anything like that? Like I was just doing one on a property that I think is way overpriced around Denver, and it was sending me properties that were similar priced 6 miles away. That's obviously not a comp.
Yeah, I think it's all automated, at least in the app it is. That's sort of the idea, is that you couple of clicks of a button and then you send them something, or they can look up comparables. But it really depends. Any of these things where they're trying to find similar properties or place a value on it or something, you think about it, they're just basically looking at like an algorithm of a spreadsheet. How many beds and bath, how many square feet, how close are they? And that's just gonna send you like things, even if those properties are really nothing alike, other than they share similar stats. Yeah, so anyways, there's some really handy resources on to invite or message or manage clients right here as well. I'll send out a couple of links to everybody after this to some of the things that I thought were most helpful, especially setting up your profile and your MLS information. Judy?
And included in that would be to confirm that you're in Iris and Party, Colorado.
Yep. Yeah.
So then.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You got it.
So JD, if you take a brand new listing, what's the first thing you do to market it with HomeSnap?
I think
If anything.
you take I don't know that. I think the most important thing is making sure that everything in your MLS, because the MLS are the sources of all of our information, and the further it gets away, so it can send from the MLS to ListHub to somewhere else to homes.com or something, the more diluted the information becomes. So I think it's more about making sure the source information is correct, that the MLS is, and you put your best foot forward there. I wouldn't at this time invest. I don't think they have enough market share to make it worth your time to go and actually do enhancements and things like that on the platform. But 6 months from now, it could be a totally different story.
And you don't register an open house with them. It flows through Iris and
Exactly right.
covers it anyway.
Yep. So yeah, as long as your MLSs make it into Iris and or RE Colorado,
Yeah.
that's where they syndicate out to all of the listing syndications, including us. Any other questions or?
Thank you.
Yeah, anybody?